Hello guys and welcome to Chilling Devotion. What do you have a chilling devotion to? To the point where you can't stop doing whatever it is that you're doing. Just stop it. If it's a chilling devotion, it's too much. Now if you have a lukewarm devotion, then maybe that's good. But if it's a chilling devotion, that's just too much. Day 1, unexpected guess. If you have a hot devotion, and maybe that's okay, I don't know. But if it's chilling, then I don't know if it's good for you, bro. You gotta get off of that. The car's engine purred softly as it glided along the snow-covered road, creating a rhythmic hum that harmonized with the tranquility of the winter landscape. The world outside seemed hushed and still, as if nature itself had been silenced by a blanket of pristine snow. Through the windshield, the scene unfolded like a postcard come to life. The snow-laden trees stood tall, their branches delicately adorned with glistening crystals. Oh, I love the writing. Each limb reached out towards the sky, as if yearning to touch the falling snowflakes. The weight of the snow bent some branches, creating graceful arches that framed the road ahead. As the car made its way through the winter wonderland, the snowscape seemed to stretch out infinitely in every direction. The vastness of the scenery was both awe-inspiring and humbling. You continue to look around and wonder from the warmth and comfort of your vehicle. For you, this is a whole new experience coming from a busy city life. The little cub cabin retreat. Cub? It was advertised as the coziest escape in the heart of the snowy mountain wilderness. Unplug and experience the tranquility and the unforgettable views of snow-capped peaks and towering pine trees right outside your window. It sounded like exactly what you needed at the time, and you immediately booked a cabin just for a week. You looked down at the directions you downloaded again. Turn onto Little Cub Trail, and it's the first cabin on the left. You slow the car as you approach a sign. Some of the letters of Little Cub peek out from the window from under the snow. You turn into the trail and your car bumps along the unpaved snowy dirt path. You look around attentively for the first cabin you see through the increasing snowfall. The wind suddenly starts whipping the snow around with fervor, and the road ahead of you quickly disappears. You feel a pang in your chest at the sight, and your breath quickens. Your eyes begin darting between the trees looking for this damn cabin. So much for the forest of light snow today. Hopefully you get there soon in case the snow gets worse. Finally, you had been looking forward to this getaway for a couple of weeks, and there it is. You can take some time to fully take in the exterior from the safety of your car. Now the idea of a private snowy cabin makes you... relaxed. You rented out a cabin for a week to get away from your troubles back in reality. You can just appreciate nature and do some things that you haven't been able to do in a while, like ice fishing. There's so much you can do, like reading next to the fire, going on a hike to see some of the sights they talked about on the website. You don't remember the last time, you just had some quiet time to yourself. It's time to relax and rest finally. You squint through the falling snow, trying to make out the numbers on the cabin. The snow is really starting to come down quickly, and you feel an urgency to get indoors. Snow had covered the sign, but this one looked like the picture in the booking, so you pulled onto the snow-covered path. You feel a wave of relief to have finally arrived. The drive up the mountain was like Rainbow Road, and then the snow, while beautiful, made for an even more challenging drive. Your little cabin is surrounded by trees, and there are no neighbors in sight. A large stretch of wilderness ensures you plenty of privacy. You hurriedly lug your stuff out of your car up to the cabin. It's not much, just a suitcase for the week. Looking at the snow, maybe you should have packed even thicker winter clothes. The icy environment chills the delicate skin on your face. You bound up to the cabin, eager to get out of the cold. Ah, it's already unlocked. Is this normal for remote cabins? As you step inside, the warmth of the being out in the elements immediately greets you, but it could certainly be warmer. You set down your things by the door and quickly set about lighting a fire in the fireplace. Conveniently, there's some wood and a lighter by the hearth. You take in the cabin's interior, and it's as cozy as described, if not a bit more messy than expected. Did they not clean up the place? There's stuff still laid out on the table. Looks like the place hasn't been swept in a while, too. It has a lived-in feel and is ready for someone to move in. The warm glow from the hearth dancing across the rustic wooden walls, and furniture was cozy and inviting. Just books are resting on the worn wooden table and shelves. I mean, some books. You hurry over to inspect the tiny kitchenette, and you are pleasantly surprised that it is fully stocked. Wow, it looks like mystery meat and a lot of junk food. Still, that's pretty generous of the people running this place. You had expected to get food later in town when the snow let up. It's a bit of a drive, but there is a small town with a grocery store around here. You can look more closely around the rest of the cabin later. Right now, you just wanted a warm drink. You look in the kitchen drawers and find a couple of options to choose from. All of them are the instant drink variety, but beggars can't be choosers. What do you want to drink? Hot cocoa! Hot cocoa, hot cocoa, hot cocoa! You grab a packet for an instant hot cocoa. Then you find a pot and start to heat some water on the gas stove. It's been a while since you used one of these. You check your phone and there's no signal. You do spot a landline on the countertop if you need to call anyone. Been a while since you've seen one of those too. Another reminder of how far from civilization you are. The pot of water simmers on the stove and you pour some into a cup for your hot cocoa. The smell of hot cocoa fills the room, and the warmth from the cup warms your frozen hands. The window rattles suddenly, and you jump from your thoughts. The snowing from earlier has really picked up into the storm now, the heavy fall of snow blurring the landscape out the window. The wind howls and rattles the windows again. The sharp, erratic bursts make you flinch every time. Snow now slams against the cabin in chaotic flurries. You wonder if the windows would hold against the storm's fury. That's a bit concerning, but it's a perfect contrast to the safety of the cabin. The cabin was a small sanctuary that was holding back the icy wilderness beyond its walls. Luckily, you have food here, and made it before the weather took a turn for the worse. Snowed in or not, you were planning on bunkering down here initially anyway. Just as you start settling in near the hearth with your hot drink, there was knocking at the door. You snap your head towards the sound, and you feel your heart racing with fear. You weren't expecting anyone, and the thought of a stranger out here in the middle of nowhere during a snowstorm sent a shiver down your spine. But maybe it was the cabin host, or someone that needed help. You set down your drink on the table gently, and look towards the door. What will you do now? Who is it? You try to act calm. You try to calm your nerves while you wait for an answer. And an answer doesn't come. I'll open the door. You froze on the spot and ended up staying quiet. No. I'll open the door. You take a deep breath and make your way to the door, steeling yourself for whoever is on the other side. Yeah, you guys, I cheat. I know. Visual novels, they give time limits. I could have just went with it, but I like to cheat. So we're cheating today, yeah? Oh, maybe I should just save here, though. When you open the door, you are greeted by a tall figure wearing a mask, their expression hidden. You breathe, F catches in your throat at the looming sight, fear threatening to overwhelm you. A biting and cold wind rushes in from the cracked open door. The unknown visitor is bundled in thick clothes and covered in snow, the huffs of their breath still slow through their mask. Hi, can I help you? The figure says nothing, the silence somehow chilling the air further. You reflexively take a step back and grip the door's handle, ready to slam the door shut and lock it. The stranger seems to notice this and slams his hand on the door, preventing you from closing it. At the sudden movement, you attack, run. You don't think you can fight your way out of this one. Maybe you can push past him if you're quick. You don't hesitate as you lower your shoulder and try to force past him, desperate to escape the menacing man in front of you. But the man's reflexes are quicker than you anticipated. You feel the firm, unmovable wall of his chest collide with your shoulder, unyielding. He doesn't even budge an inch, and he grabs you by the arm. His hands are strong but not painful, and they anchor you firmly in place in front of him. His face is unreadable, neither anger nor amused, just unreadable. The storm outside howled louder, as if taunting you in this situation. What do you do now? Please let me go. The stranger's grip on your arm tightens. I'm afraid I can't do that. A chill runs through you. Is it a chillingly devotional chill? Sorry. A chill runs through you as you hear that low, cold, and menacing voice. There is a slight southern drawl to it. Its words hang heavy in the air, mingling with your labored breaths and the roar of the winds. Just as you're starting to feel lightheaded, the stranger adds matter-of-factly. Especially not in this weather. There's a snowstorm after all. I can't let you go. And you won't survive out there alone. You won't even make it for 5 minutes in the storm by the looks of you. Huh? He suddenly lets go of you. The action is so sudden that you stumble back into the cabin's interior, and the stranger takes a step in. The stranger's face remains unreadable as they shut the door behind them, sealing you both inside. The stranger pulls down his mask to reveal his face. Which band is this? He begins dusting off the snow from his clothes and goes to hang up his overcoat by the door naturally. I'm Jim. This is my place. You stare speechlessly at the casual statement, as if he's not aware of the scare he just gave you. What's your name? Mew. Mew? There's an awkward beat before he gestures for you to take a seat by the fireplace. Sit down. Whatever. Did I break into the wrong house? Did I come to the wrong cabin? What's going on? You stiffly follow his suggestion and sit down in a chair with a He takes off his hat and dusts off his snow before following you and takes a seat as well. You are both sitting by the hearth now after your misunderstanding. You feel a mixture of adrenaline and embarrassment. I'm real sorry about before. Why did you knock on your own door and didn't say anything earlier? Jim looks away guilty, and then hurriedly explains himself. I saw your car, and I was trying not to scare you, just trying to let you know I'm there. And then, when I saw you, I got nervous. This guy did all that because he got nervous? Well, I mean, we're in his house. We're in his house. I would be nervous if someone's in my house, bro. Someone I don't know. You are taken aback by the contrast of the man in front of you and your first impression of him. Besides that, you are still confused about how all of this happened. Jim thinks for a moment and then speaks more quietly because of self-consciousness about how his voice sounds. His voice still comes out as a low rumble. Were you trying to go to that tiny bear house? You mean the little cub cabin? Then yes. Right. You went way too far down the trail then. Probably missed it with all the snow and pines. Easy to happen when the snow gets like this. Your face burned with embarrassment at your mistake, the whole misunderstanding. So much for a relaxing getaway. That makes sense. An awkward silence stretches between you two, and Jim speaks up again. I think the storm will pass in a couple of days. You can stay here until then. A couple of days? You sit there and process what's happened. Thank you so much. Jim nods, a small smile tugging at the corner of his lips. As if you have a choice, but now you feel even more grateful after inconveniencing your cabin neighbor. At least he seemed to be nonchalant about this whole situation. It can get lonely out here sometimes. Haven't had company in a long time. You nod back, feeling a bit more at ease now that you know he's not some deranged stranger. If anything, you were the stranger in his house now, and yet he is being so welcoming. Jim moves to stand up and starts gesturing around the room. So the bathroom is in the corner there. Oh, and feel free to put your things in the spare room right there on your right. My room's the one to your left by the front door. It's not much, but you're safe here. Jim points to the pot on the stove next. I'll have some hot cocoa too after all of that. Want your hot cocoa reheated since you've helped yourself to some already? You groan at any reminders of your unfortunate beginnings here. Sure, thanks. Jim gives you a curt nod and grabs your cup. Things are still pretty awkward, but it was kind of sweet that he was trying to be a good host. How about you check out your room while I reheat the drinks? You nod and grab your luggage and take it to your room. The room is small, but just as cozy as the rest of the cabin. Simple with its furnishings, but it's all you need. It's minimally decorated like the rest of his cabin, but it has a bed and a nightstand and a lamp. And now it has a suitcase and belongings in the corner. You sit down on the bed with a creak. The bed feels impossibly soft beneath you, urging your tense muscles from earlier to uncoil. Is he gonna drug me? You let out a long breath, and your hand traces absent-mindedly over the quilted blanket. Its fabric is worn but comforting. What a situation. You hear the muffled clattering of Jim in the kitchen, and snow battering against the walls. This was not what you had expected at all, and you wonder how it'll all go. Your hot cocoa is ready. Jim's voice from the other room pulls you from your thoughts, and you get up to join him. You sit across from Jim as he hands you a reheated hot cocoa. Jim cradles his own mug in his hand, savoring its warmth before taking little sips. His posture is more relaxed, but still seems a bit shy. You get a better look at him now that things are less intense. His pale hair is damp and disheveled from the snowstorm, and he keeps it pretty long. His eyes flick to you occasionally before glancing down at his drink. Sorry, I'm not used to having company, I guess. What do you do? Ask him if he'd like to talk or stay silent. Now ask him some questions. I don't know. This could just as easily be the cabin that I was looking for, and he's just playing with me, my mind. That's alright. I'm quite the unexpected guest right now. What would you prefer? We could just enjoy the silence if you like. Oh, well, of course, I don't mind not talking. But since this is a bit of a special occasion, I'd like to try talking. If that's alright with you. I'm not really sure where to start, though. Jim looks at you expectantly. He's hopeful that you'll start the conversation. So, what are you doing outside just now? Just checking some traps I set out in the woods nearby. Traps? Traps are small game, like rabbits and such mostly. Nothing in the traps today, probably all hiding from the storm. Oh, I see. That would explain the mystery game meat in the fridge earlier. So, do you live out here all the time? He glances at you and then answers while looking into the fire. Used to be, not all of the time, just when I need to get away. But now, yeah, this is where I live. His voice is steady, but there's something vulnerable in his tone. Like he's not used to explaining himself. Get away from what? He seems to hesitate. Maybe from trying to find the right words before settling on what to say. Everything. The noise, the people, it's just too much. I get that sometimes. You nod in understanding, although not to the extent that Jim is talking about it. I'm sure I'd miss the city eventually. But I get it. It's why I wanted to come out here too. Just needed a break from it all, sometimes. Jim's lips twitch in a faint smile, and for the first time since talking, his gaze holds yours for a while. And instead you end up in the wrong cabin. Your cheeks warm as you let out a soft laugh. Yeah, not exactly the peaceful getaway I had in mind. Hahaha. You're surprised by the rich depth of his chuckle, despite how he tried to quiet it. It sends a pleasant warmth through you. Well, I guess it's not every day you accidentally break into someone else's house. The initial tension between you is melted away as you both laugh about it. I hope you do get what you came here for. You can't help but smile at his gentle words. So, what do you do out here? I like to be in nature and be alone. Yeah, like hiking? I hunt and fish when the weather's better. Sometimes I make stuff. There's a town a ways from here, but I mostly just keep to myself. His eyes dart nervously around, and you get the impression that he's not used to talking about himself like this. You decide not to get into it for now for his sake, but you are curious. He seems like the type to say things when he's ready. So, the storm seems pretty rough. Yeah, but it should calm down in a day or two. And if you want, I can make sure you get it to the right cabin, then. The mountain weather can be unpredictable. One moment is clear, then dangerous in an instant. It's snowing a bit early this year, but it's not uncommon. The snow falls hard, and the wind, well, it howls like it's got something to prove. You nod along at his explanation. You weren't aware of how it was in the mountains. He lets out a soft sigh before continuing, running a hand through his messy hair. I knew the second I saw you that you were not used to this. If you don't know what you're doing and you try to go out there, well, you're pretty much asking for trouble then. You notice a shift in his tone when talking about the storm. There's something protective about it. Like he's trying to prepare you, or maybe even shield you from the wilderness of the mountain. Just wait it out. Don't venture out if you don't have to. The storm outside wails a bit louder for a moment, as if protesting, and Jim shifts his gaze out the window. I've been stuck in here before. You just get used to it, and then it's not so bad. You take in his words. You get the impression of that he's used to navigating the chaos of the mountain, and with him, maybe you could too. So, you don't see many people around here. Yeah, to be honest, you're the first person I've really talked to in a couple of months. Other than that when I'm picking up supplies in town. He awkwardly shifts in his seat and rubs the back of his neck like he's unsure of how to continue. I guess you could probably tell with how out of practice I am with this social stuff. He gets a dry laugh, but it's not exactly a happy one. The isolation, it's easier this way. And I've never minded being by myself. It's peaceful. I don't generally like people, but it's been nice talking with you. This admission lingers in the air. As you both take it in, you're touched by his openness and vulnerability in this moment. Well, I'm glad I could be the one you talk to. Jim smiles at this and takes another shy sip from his mug. A moment of warmth settles between both of you, and you feel a bit closer. So, you're done asking questions. You're done asking questions for now. You both finish up the rest of your drinks in silence. Jim looks at you and finally asks you a question himself. So how are you feeling about being stuck here? He quickly looks away again while anticipating your answer. He has a complicated look on his face. You wonder why that is. He is a hard man to read. You like it here so far and look forward to leaving. Can't wait to leave and get away from this guy. You don't want to stay for anything. You don't want to say anything for now. I appreciate all that you've done for me, but I like to get to where I'm supposed to be as soon as I can. I'll keep this. I see as, of course, that makes sense. You are grateful for the shelter and how helpful Jim has been. You'll be happy to get along with Jim while you're here and go your separate ways when possible. You did come here for a private cabin getaway, after all. Jim looks back into the flickering embers of the fire and seems to be weighing your response in his head. You wonder what he's thinking, but you can't bring yourself to interrupt his thoughts. You ultimately look into the fire too. The dancing flames lull you into its trance as your mind wanders. The time flows as the sun disappears from the sky, and you both are left with a dying fire. At some point, you find yourself watching him. His features are softer in the firelight, warmer too than before. He looks much more friendly now that he's taken off his outerwear and is relaxing in his more casual outfit. He doesn't seem to talk much, but his voice carries quite a quiet intensity, like every word matters. He glances at you and catches you staring. You quickly look down at your empty mug, feeling the heat rise in your face from being caught. He doesn't say anything at first, but now you feel him observing your back. What? Sorry, I didn't mean to stare. You were mindlessly staring for a little too long before you even realized it. That's alright. No harm, no foul. You can stare, I don't mind. You were just, kinda obvious about it. He's surprisingly easygoing despite first impressions. His words ease the embarrassment just a little. I get lost in my thoughts sometimes. Well, who doesn't every now and then? Then Jim looks into his empty mug, now cold. Well, I think I'll call it a night. Jim gets up and holds out a hand to take my empty mug from you too, trying to be a gracious host to you. You give him your cup too, and his lips curve into a small smile. He walks to the kitchen and places both your mugs in the tiny sink, there with a clink. Then Jim goes over to the hearth and picks out the rest of the fire before heading to his room. You get up and walk to your room. You peer out to Jim, closing the door to your room. Jim lingers by his door and glances back at you. Okay, well, good night, Mew. Thank you. Jim's eyes sparkle with your words of appreciation. You're welcome. Sleep well. Your door creaks as you close it all the way, and you turn towards what will be your room for the next couple days. That was much nicer than how your first meeting started. Jim's not so bad so far. Maybe it wouldn't be so bad getting to know each other more. You change into your sleeping clothes and jump under the covers for warmth. The storm is still raging outside as much as it was earlier. You start to relax, and soon the storm starts to sound like white noise. The events of the day are taking their toll on you. Before you arrive, you were feeling relaxed. Now, after everything has happened, you feel grateful. You're grateful for this cabin and Jim's hospitality so far. Things could have gone a lot worse, all things considered. As you think about how you feel, you drift off to sleep, wondering what the rest of the week has in store for you. The darkness takes you, and you dream of being deep in the mountains. The air is vicious, thick with the scent of old blood. From the abyss, a pair of gold, moon-like eyes glow from a towering figure. The shadow moves too fluid, too silent, just beyond your grasp. The trees scream, the ground heaves, and then a sound, low, guttural, laughing. Its voice is not sound, but vibration, the hum of a wasp's nest, the groan of a noose tightening. You are such a delicate thing, a rabbit on my altar. You are the perfect sacrifice. The voice scares you. You don't understand what it is. You try to get away from this haunting visage, but the damp, cold earth under your feet clings to you. Branches claw at your arms, leaving thin red trails in their wake. The less you understand, the rougher things get. The trees loom and shadows laugh. The forest, it screams to you. The one who dreams, the wolves. And then the darkness reaches for you. The voice calls to you once more. I'll let the whelp have you, just for a little while. The whelp? What's the whelp? Is that the Jim? Is Jim the whelp? Day 2, the carving. You are marked now. The storm listens. The trees remember. You wake with a gasp, the remnants of the dream clinging to you like frost. Moonlit eyes burned into yours from the shadows of the pines. Something that knew your name with a voice like cracking ice. Unconsciously, your fingers buried in the quilt, your pulse hammering like a trapped thing. Morning light seeps through the frosted windows. You wake to the sound of the gas stove clicking on and the flash of the flames. Jim is awake, moving through the cabin with the creak of floorboards under his careful steps. The bedroom door squeaks as you step out. Jim keeps his back to you, fingers fumbling with the coffee tin like it's the most fascinating thing in the world. You're finally awake. You sit down at the table. Jim sets a chipped mug on the table and joins you. Steam curls from it ghostly in the cold air. He doesn't speak. The silence stretches, taut as a tripwire. Mew, it's for you. Jim pushes the mug towards you, an offering. His eyes dart around the room, a nervous habit you're beginning to recognize. Oh my gosh. It's gonna happen. Take the mug. Wait. Wait for him to speak. I'm more interested in that. He clears his throat as you look at him patiently. It's not cocoa. That's what you like, right? You had made this yesterday. You nod. He exhales just slightly and nudges the mug closer. Alright, I'll take the mug, whatever. The drink inside is hot cocoa, hot and fragrant, exactly as you like it. The scent wraps around you like warm and familiar. You hadn't realized how thirsty you were until now. Jim watches you intently. Oh, I can pretend to drink. You lift the mug, letting the liquid barely touch your lips. Jim's gaze drops as you to your throat. waiting for the telltale movement of a swallow. You fake it. He doesn't blink. Then slowly he takes a sip of his drink, his eyes never leaving yours. At that moment, you spit the liquid gently back into the mug, and the liquid swirling dark and unnoticed. His fingers tighten around his cup and he says nothing. You occasionally lift your cup to appear to drink it. The steam from your mug curls between you like a disorientating fog. Jim's gaze lingers on your throat, waiting. When you set the mug down, his eyes narrow just for a second before he reaches for it. Too hot. I said I was thirsty. Yes, I'm just waiting for it to cool. He hums, non-committal, as he busies himself with his mug again. The mug sits between you awkwardly, the steam becoming as cold as the air between you. He takes the abandoned mug roughly, and the mug disappears into the sink with a clatter. But the way he watches you now, like he's memorizing the shape of your distrust. Oh no, that's a good thing now. Jim's face shudders. He sets his cold mug down with a deliberate care, and retreats to his room without a word. The click of his door latch is deafening in your quiet cabin. You are alone, for now. Oh man, maybe I should have trusted the poor guy. He was just trying to be nice to me. The snowstorm howls outside, relentless. Jim's silent retreat to his room leaves you standing alone in the dim cabin, the air thick with unspoken tension. You retreat to your room, the walls pressing in as you consider your options. But for now you have time. Time to think, time to explore. You're still on the edge of your bed, listening to the muffled creak of the cabin under the weight of the snow. The quiet is oppressive, broken only by the occasional gust of wind rattling the window pane. Without being able to leave the shrinking cabin, what do? Shrieking? You head out back into the main room to see if there's anything to pass the time. The storm rattles the windows in the cabin's dim living room. Jim is nowhere to be seen, must still be in his room. What now? Read a book by the fire. I would do that. You approach the small, sparse bookcase and read the titles as you run your fingers along the spines. Yeah, let's dig into this bookshelf, shall we? Wilderness survival, edible plants, the history of knot tying. Seriously? Your fingers pause on a worn leather spine, tucked between two larger volumes that doesn't have a title. You pull out a small journal. The leather is soft with age, and the edges are frayed. There's just a faint crescent moon embossed on the corner. Oh, great. Oh, great. I'm gonna be caught reading his journal because I'm too curious. I am too curious. I'm gonna read it. You hesitantly, only momentarily, then open it. The first few pages are dated entries in neat, careful handwriting. October 12th. First snowfall came early. Caught 2 rabbits in the noose snare. Need to check southern traps tomorrow. Sorry, buddy. You flip further in, the entries become less frequent, the handwriting changing. Sometimes neat, sometimes jagged. Some pages have sketches, plants, and animal tracks. Then you reach a section where the writing changes dramatically. October 23rd. They are still watching. I can hear them. The marks aren't enough anymore. October 25th. They're coming. The storm will bring them in. November 7th. This kept them out last time. Need to protect them. For when they're ready. Your breath catches them. You flip faster. Near the end. Most recent entry. Oh, it didn't say anything. December 6th. They're here. Have to be careful. Have to go slow. The trees are already whispering. As you turn the page, a dried flower falls into your lap. A white bloom. Perfectly preserved. You stare at the flower in your palm, breathless from what you just read. The cabin seems too quiet suddenly. Then the floorboard creaks behind you. I knew I was gonna get caught! Dang it. Shouldn't have read his journal. You snap the journal shut, but it's too late. You spin to see Jim. You don't trust my hot chocolate I made for you, and then you read my journal? What the heck is wrong with you? I'm gonna throw you out in the snowstorm. Get out of my house! You spin to see Jim leaning in the bedroom doorway. How long has he been watching? Find anything interesting? His expression is unreadable as he watches you with those two blue eyes, fingers flexing at his side. The flower feels colder in your hand. What if I'm just up front? Just be up front. What is this? You hold the journal up, testing his reaction, watching his face closely. His jaw tightens, and he holds out his hand expectantly. Private thoughts. You wouldn't like it if I went through your things. Man, I am disrespectful as heck, bro. He poignantly glances at your half-open bedroom door. You hand back the book, unsatisfied, but it doesn't look like Jim will say any more on the subject. He slides the journal back into his spot. The moment stretches, the fire pops. Jim's gaze locks onto your clenched fist with a flower restless, icy against your palm. His expression flickers, something between panic and hunger, before smoothing into careful neutrality. What else is in your hand? Your fingers trembling, the flower feels heavier than it should. When you unfurl your hand, the white petals are now slightly crumpled, edges blackened with frostbite. Jim's breath catches just for a second before he slowly, carefully speaks. Is that yours? I can crush his flower? My character is ruthless! This was in your journal. Jim grabs your wrist to pull you towards him, peering at the flower. I don't think so. His thumb brushes your wrist as he pulls away, warning. He takes the flower from your hand, turns it over like a curiosity, and then pockets it while giving you an unreadable look. It's just a flower. You still feel the coolness lingering in your trembling hand. Then he reaches over to you, and you flinch. His gaze holds yours as he slowly pulls out a book from the shelf next to you and hands it to you firmly. The cover reads, Wilderness First Aid Manual. Read this. It's good for you. Never know when you'll need it. He looks so sad. I didn't want to make him sad now. Even if he might be chillingly devoted to me. His finger taps the back right on an advertisement of learn how to treat frostbite. His gaze flicks to your exposed fingertips and back to your face, a silent massage. The moment stretches, the storm rattles the windows, but Jim doesn't move away. Okay. Jim's lips twitch, not quite a smile, but close. He steps back unsatisfied. Smart. He turns to the fire, but you catch him watching from the corner of his eye. Soon, he heads back to his room without another word. You sit and try to read some of the manual, but Jim's appearance leaves you slightly unsettled. Even though Jim has retreated to his room, you still somehow feel his eyes on you. Maybe you can look into the bookcase more later when Jim is occupied elsewhere. What now? I'll rest in bed for now. You figure you'll just go back and rest in your room for a while. Alright, I'll cook some food. You're hungry. Jim hasn't offered to cook, so it's... What?! I break into his house. How dare he not cook for me? What? So it's time to fend for yourself. The cabin's kitchen is cramped. A propane stove, a scarred wooden I would at least ask what was okay if I ate first. A scarred wooden counter and the fridge groaning in the corner. But when you tug open the fridge, the chill that rolls out feels mocking. The shelves are nearly bare. There's a small carton of eggs, half a stick of butter, and a jar of preserves. Unlabeled, the contents dark and clotted. You could have sworn there was more yesterday, but the fridge hums innocently, its emptiness glaring. As you clink around the kitchenette looking for more food, a shadow falls across the floorboards. No other than your gracious host, Jim, leans against the doorframe. His voice is light, but his posture is anything but. Looking for something? His gaze flicks to the empty fridge, then back to you, a silent challenge. I like omelets, even if they're bare. As you reach for the egg, Jim's hands closes over yours, just shy of painful. Use the jar. He nudges the unlabeled preservative towards you. You turn your nose at the appearance, but you try to open it. The lid is sealed too tight to open. Jim watches you struggle, your arms shaking before taking the jar from you. Jim pries it open with one twist and a loud pop. The preserves inside smell disgustingly sweet, like fermented fruit and something else. You notice some bread is visible in the high cabinet, but there's no step stool. Jim follows your gaze upward. Jim waits, arms crossed, to see if you'll climb the counters like a misbehaving child. I'll accept the help this time. You consider it, but let Jim help you. Jim smiles slightly at your cooperation. Jim reaches up there and grabs each of you a single slice. The kitchen feels smaller with Jim in it. His presence fills the space, shoulders neatly brushing the cabinets as he moves. He doesn't wait for your answer, just steps forward, his voice leaving no room for argument. Let me cook. I know my way around my own kitchen. Alright, I'll accept. Jim's posture relaxes almost imperceptibly as he moves past you to the stove. Should have said you were hungry earlier. I'll handle it. It's not too fancy, but it'll do. His hands work with practiced efficiency, too fast for you to track what spices he adds to the cast iron pan. The portion he serves you is precise. But he made some pancakes with raw ingredients around. The jar of preservative sits open on the table for you. Your stomach grumbles loudly at the sight and smell. Good, you have an appetite. Go on and dig in. I won't drink your hot cocoa, but I will eat your pancakes, bro. And he doesn't eat until you take the first bite. His gaze never leaves your face. Jim puts the effort into making it, so now it's time to eat. What if you had the option to not eat it after all the preparation and precision he made, and then you just like, no, I don't want it. I don't trust you. No. Oh my gosh. My character can be so rude. The pancakes are just sweet enough. The preservatives taste like blackberries and something darker? Iron? No, just your imagination. The food is delicious, but leaves you oddly drowsy. Oh, I knew it! He smiles, watching you eat, and noting how you feel from the look on your face. Good food will make you sleepy, huh? Yeah, definitely. Yep, it's just the warm, delicious food that's making me drowsy. All of a sudden, his voice is light. His fingers quickly tap the table twice, like he's counting. Both of you finish up quickly, and Jim takes your plates to the sink. As he's washing up, Jim hums. The tune is unfamiliar, oddly rhythmic. He never heard it before. Almost like a lullaby or a chant. When Jim notices your attention, he stops abruptly and turns away. It's just a song from my childhood. Jim finishes the dishes and gives you a short nod before heading back to his room again. What now? I'll try calling someone? Whatever, I'll try calling. Help! Help! Some guy made me pancakes and I got drowsy. You reach into your pocket to retrieve your phone. The wind howls outside as you stare at the blanket screen. No signal, no bars, just the mocking no service blinking at you. The landline on the counter catches your eye. Worth a try. Who am I gonna call? 911? 999? Is this the UK? You lift the receiver. Dead silence. No dial tone. Just the hollow echo of your breathing. A floorboard creaks behind you. You don't need to turn to know. Jim's there, watching again. Oh, well, I'm just calling. Who exactly were you trying to call? Forest Protection Services? I got tired because you made me pancakes. Jim is leaning against the doorframe, arms crossed. His expression is neutral, but his eyes track the way your fingers clutch the receiver. It's not like anyone can come or go right now anyway. His tone is icy and his eyes narrow on you, tracking you, knowing how stubborn you've been. Jim's patience is running thin. When will it be fixed? Jim shrugs, stepping closer to examine the phone himself. His shoulder brushes yours, too close, too intentional. I'm not sure. He taps the receiver gently back into its cradle. No one comes up here much in winter. The silence stretches too long. His gaze darkens, the polite mask slipping just enough for you to see the ice beneath. Think you should go to your room for a while. He doesn't move from the doorway. The unspoken command lingers in the air between you. This isn't a suggestion. You hesitate, weighing defiance. But the facts are undeniable. His broad frame blocks the only exit. The storm shrieks outside, a reminder of the wilderness's indifference. And that look in his eyes, patient, but not endlessly so. Your feet move before you decide to obey. Jim follows just too close behind as you trudge down to your room. Rest up. I'll get you for supper later. And with that, your bedroom door creaks shut behind you. The sound is soft, final. You sit on the edge of the bed and weigh up the day, pressing into your shoulders like hands. You stare out the frost-veined glass. The storm still rages, snow piling in drifts against the pane. Your breath fogs the cold surface. Your breath evens out, fogging the glass in rhythmic pulses. Without realizing it, you trace the same looping pattern Jim uses to stir his coffee into the glass. But you were feeling more accepting of your situation, or maybe resigned is a better word. The snow no longer looked threatening, just inevitable, like the turn of seasons. Think about what you've seen. The wind howls outside as you lie stiffly beneath the quilt staring at the ceiling. You reflect on what you've seen today, the first day staying in the cabin with Jim. Memory flickers. The rough drag of aged leather under your fingertips, the dry crack of its spine splitting open like a secret. The sketches and scribbling writing swim behind your eyelids. The contents of the journal sent a chill through you. Your brows furrows as you try to make out what it all means. They're coming. The storm will bring them. You turn onto your side, pulse quickening at the memory. Who was he writing about? And why does he have a date on the last entry match this week? Your palm tingles where your petals touch you, a phantom chill that won't fade. You press your hand to the mattress, but the cold lingers like a brand. The flower was too cold, too perfect. And Jim's reaction was playing on a loop, dismissive, even when his breath stilled. You clench your fist, the scent of frost and iron still clings to your skin. The fridge's hollow interior glares in your memory. Is that really what happened? The fridge was working fine yesterday. At least you didn't notice anything wrong with it. And then, in the way he watched as you struggled with the empty shelves like an animal playing with its food. Your stomach growls. The hunger feels intentional now. The landline's dead static still rings in your ear. I thought Maybe Jim brought all his snacks into his room. It's like, yeah, this person's not getting any of my good stuff, you know? You roll over and dig your phone from your pocket. No service still marks you in glowing letters. You toss in bed in frustration, your phone a heavy weight in your pocket. You might as well just put it in your luggage for now. The storm was roaring. What bad luck for the landline to go down. The shadows stretch across your room, and you begin to wonder if it's even time yet. Jim hasn't come to get you, but the hunger in your stomach pulls you out of bed. When you get up, you notice the door slightly ajar. You could have sworn that you had closed it. The storm had trapped you both inside for another day. The wind howls through the cracks of the cabin walls, but Jim seems almost content. He sits at the table, a small knife in hand, whittling away at the block of oak. His movements are careful and precise, like a man performing a sacred rite. He doesn't look at you, but you catch the way his fingers linger over the wood, shaping it with something like reverence. Alright. What are you making? Jim jolts to your presence and nearly nicks himself. Mew, I didn't realize you were there. It's a carving of a rabbit. A small, fragile thing. Ears folded back, body coiled, as if ready to flee. When the carving is finished, Jim hesitates. His thumb brushes over the creature's back, passing over its form. He seems to consider the object in his hands before putting the carving away into his pocket without another word. You note a flash of pain across his face before he turns away. What? Stop him. Let him go. What? Let him go. You say nothing. Jim hesitates for a heartbeat, as if waiting, hoping for you to stop him. When you don't, his jaw tightens. Well, good night then. Dude, I'm hungry. Give me food. He doesn't look at you as he walks away. His footsteps are too measured, his shoulders rigid. The door in his room clicks shut behind him. With nothing else to do, you also head back to your room. Your bed creaks as you settle in. The blanket's too stiff, the air too still. You try to sleep, but it comes in shallow waves. Each time you start to drift to sleep, the shadows at the edge of the room seems to shift just slightly. A thud, a muffled curse, the creak of floorboards bearing weight. The cabin is too quiet for the sound to be anything but deliberate. You sit up, a shiver. A sliver of light bleeds under your door. Someone's still awake. You are drawn to the noise and venture out of your room. Night falls heavy over the cabin. The fire reduced to embers. The wind has quieted, but the silence is worse, thick with unsaid words. Jim stands by the window, his back to you, fingers absently tracing the edge of the wood carving knife. You can see the tension in his shoulders, the way his breath fogs the glass in uneven bursts. He knows you're watching. He always knows. You know what? I'll just go back. He looks like he might want to be alone. You also didn't want to face him, no. So you quietly start heading to your room. To your confusion, Jim puts on his jacket and hat by the door. Then he wordlessly goes out of the cabin. The door clicks shut behind him, and there's a beat of silence. Then the unmistakable click of a lock engaging. Follow him. You're reaching for the door before you realize it. The handle is cold under your palm, metal biting into your skin as you twist it. It doesn't budge. Give up. Look out the window. Through the window, you see Jim's retreating figure, his shoulders hunch against the wind and snow. It looks like he's holding something. He doesn't look back. Look at the door. It's a double-sided deadbolt. Jim had locked you in the cabin for the night. Guess I'll go back to bed, then. You hear a distant axe hitting wood outside over and over and over. And Jim seems to have no intention of returning tonight. With nothing else to do, you head back to your room. You lay back down in your bed, filled with thoughts of Jim, but your eyes grow heavy with sleep. The storm murmurs against the windows, a lullaby of wind and creaking wood. You drift into sleep, and dreams come like a whisper. You stand in a cathedral of snow-laden trees, their branches clawing at a sky as deep as oblivion. The air smells of frost and something older, moss, blood, burnt sugar. The wind howls louder, rattling the trees like something begging it to be let in. Before you is bare earth. The ground twitches where your shadow falls. You feel something between your teeth, and when you pick it out, a white flower, moist from your insides, silver veins throb mockingly at you. You don't recall their name, yet your tongue forms the shape of it anyway. Moon petals. Is that what they're called? How do you know? There are wolf traps, deep, deliberate. They lead you forward without a choice. The trees seem curving into you, pulling you in. Something moves in the dark. Not a wolf, not a man. A shape with too many joints. A shadow stretching further than the light should allow. And those eyes, they glow impossibly bright, drinking up the shadows. A voice hums. Jim's voice? No, deeper. It curls through the trees in fragments. What do you have, rabbit? Your palm grows heavy. You unclench your fist to reveal. It's a moon petal, pressed and dried. It pulses in your hand with secret life. Its mouth doesn't move, the words echoing off of the trees. How curious. You hunger for him, even as you tremble in his hands. I've seen how you lean into his shadow. Stay a little longer. I've been starved for for so long. Thanks for playing day 2. Let me know what you think so far on the intro. I love it. Oh my gosh, it's so good. I love the writing. I love everything. Oh man, I'm gonna load this. Hold up. Wait. Let's just be like, yo, Jim, what's up? Approach him quietly. You step closer, the floorboards creaking under your weight. Jim doesn't turn, but his grip is on the carving knife tightens. When Jim turns to face you, the moonlight paints his face in blue and shadow, his eyes dark and unreadable. There's something raw in his expression, something hungry and hesitant all at once. Couldn't sleep? But you should be able to be asleep. You should be asleep. His voice is rough, raw. I couldn't sleep either. I heard you were awake. Then I'm sorry for bothering you. The air between you is charged, electric. He swallows hard, his gaze flickering to your lips, then away, like he's afraid of what he might do if he looks too long. Oh my gosh. I guess this is gonna turn into a love story. Step forward slowly. Jim hesitates, his hand hovering near your face like he's afraid to touch you. When you lean in, he lets out a shaky breath, his fingers finally brushing your cheek. The kiss is soft, almost tentative, a question, not a demand. His lips are chapped from the cold, but warm, so warm. When he pulls back, his eyes are wide, vulnerable. I didn't. You kiss him again, and this time he whimpers against your mouth, his hands trembling where they cradle your face. Jim avoids your eyes. Afterwards, his ears red. He touches his lips like he's trying to memorize the feeling. Jim suddenly pulls away from you, like he's been touched by fire. I have to go. He begins grabbing his heavy winter clothes and heads for the door. You reach out to him, but he gives you a dangerous look. Don't follow me. He leaves the cabin, the door slamming behind him. The door clicks shut behind him, and there's a beat of silence. Then, an unmistakable click of lock engaging. Just go back to bed and skip. Wait. You hear a distant axe hitting wood outside over and over. The night stretches on, and Jim's touch lingers like a brand. And Jim seems to have no intention of returning tonight. With nothing else to do, you head back to your room. And then I skip it to the back. Alright, let's go back to the saves. something else. Alright. I could go for him first. If I just go for him. He would like to stay here longer. I actually really like it here. I could see myself spending my whole stay here, honestly. It's been nice having you as company. Well, I'll be honest, I've been liking your company too. What I'm trying to say is, you could stay here longer if you want. But you don't gotta decide now, and maybe your feelings will change. Although, I am happy you feel that way right now. You smile at him, flustered, but sincere response. You guess you'll have to see how things go. Jim looks back into the flickering embers of the fire and seems to be weighing a response in his head. You wonder what he's thinking, but you can't bring yourself to interrupt his thoughts. You ultimately look into the fire, too. The dancing flames lull you into its trance as your mind wanders. The time flows as the sun disappears from the sky, and you're both left with a dying fire. At some point you find yourself watching him. His features are softer, and I skip it. You're handsome. As the words come out of your mouth, Jim's eyes widen for a moment. His cheeks flush a soft shade of red, and he shifts awkwardly in his seat and looks back into the fire, as if he can offer some of comfort. Thanks. He clears his throat and then raises his gaze slightly up to you again. I don't really get called that a lot. There's something incredibly endearing about his genuine nervousness. But, I guess I'll take it. It's very nice of you to say. He lets out a slow breath and glances at you. You're not so bad yourself, you know. Then Jim looks into his empty mug, now cold. Well, I think I'll call it a night. Alright. Can I stay in your room? Going for the kill. Jim gives you a perplexed look. Why would you want to do that? You blush, unable to stay. I said I was gonna go straight for him, so I think there are other ways we could stay warm. Huh? Yeah. Jim's eyes dart around the room. Anywhere but you. There are extra blankets in your room if you get too cold. Alright, this is a cuter response, I guess. You blush, unable to say. Jim notices you're blushing and slowly starts blushing himself. I don't think that's a good idea. Jim stands there quietly, his blush deepened by his thoughts continue. Good night. Good night, bro. Jim brushes away before you can say anything else. Oh, your turn to go to your room then. Your door creaks, and I skip it. Whoa. Your door creaks as you close it all the way and you turn towards what will be your room for the next couple days. That was much nicer than how your first meeting started. You were getting to know Jim a lot more, and the both of you were getting along a little too much. Your unexpected host was turning out to be a pleasant surprise. With his handsome face and his heavy metal band t-shirt. You change into your sleeping clothes and jump under the covers for warmth. The storm is still raging outside as much as it was earlier. You start to relax, and soon the storm outside starts to sound like white noise. The events of the day are taking their toll on you. Before you arrived, you were feeling relaxed. Now, after everything that has happened, you feel attraction. Honestly, you're attracted to Jim. He has been not what you expected, and you're looking forward to learning more about him. As you think about how you feel, you drift off to sleep, wondering what the rest of the week has in store for you. Okay. Your breath comes fast, not with fear but rapture. You seem to recognize something. To be known is to press your rotting heart against something equally ruined. See how we match? You barely even notice when the gnarled roots from below wrap around your leg lovingly. The forest, it screams to you. The one who dreams the wolves. And then the darkness reaches for you. The voice calls to you once more. I'll let the whelp have you, just for a little while. Yeah, okay. Day 2, the carving. I'll take the mug. Yeah, I didn't realize. I'll drink it. Take a sip from the mug, and it's good. Really good. You drink a big gulp before you even realize it. Jim's shoulders unclench just a fraction. I'm glad you like it. Jim's posture softens. He watches you with something like gratitude, his fingers tapping, an absent rhythmic against the table. The steam from your mug curls between you like a disorientating fog. Jim watches, not the drink, but your hands. As the space where your lips will meet the rim, the silence stretches, charged with something unspoken. The warmth of your drink spreads through your chest, familiar and comforting. Is it good? How's the temperature? Not that it's perfect. With pride barely hidden, a flicker of satisfaction crosses his face. He leans back in his chair, fingers strumming once again. He's like, haha, another win for Jim. Just throw the win in there. I'm winning with this one, baby. I remember how you take it. Before you know it, you drink it all. Jim holds out his hand to take your mug, and you oblige. Then he busies himself with taking your mugs to the sink, but you catch the way his thumb rubs over the spot your lips just touched. You must be hungry. I'll make you some food to go with your drink. How did you know? He crouches down and pulls out a cooler from under the sink. You think you hear the click of a lock, but you can't see past Jim's form. He places some ingredients on the counter. Flour, potato, onions, eggs, and toast. Oh, we're gonna get a different meal? Jim, you don't have to. Jim, you're going out of your way from me. Oh, Jim, you're making me blush. I already have a permanent blush on my VTuber face, so Jim's gonna do it for me. It's not too fancy, but it'll do. Jim moves with quiet efficiency at the stoves as he layers ingredients into a cast iron pan. I will watch him work, because me helping a master chef is like me fumbling in the kitchen, and he's got it, bro. You lean against the counter, arms crossed, observing Jim. Jim doesn't rush. Every motion is deliberate, practiced. His hands work with practiced efficiency. Too fast for you to track what spices he adds to the cast iron pan. He cracks eggs one-handed, whisks them smooth, and hums under his breath when he thinks you're not listening. At one point, he glances over, catching your stare. See something you like? You, Jim. I like you, Jim. You and your chilling devotion. His voice is teasing, but his ears are faintly pink. He turns back to the stove, but not before you catch the smile he can't suppress. The first yandere that gets me. He just makes food for me. When he serves you, he leans in close as he sets the plate down. Hope you like it. Oh, wow, I got an abundance for giving in to Jim's. I got an abundance of food for giving in to Jim, bro. The food is simple but perfect. Fluffy eggs, crispy potatoes, pancakes, toast slathered in some kind of jam. Jim left the jar of preservatives open on the table for you, wafting a sweet scent to you, in case you wanted more. Your stomach grumbles loudly at the sight and smell. Good, you haven't enough appetite. Go on and dig in. He doesn't eat until you do. His gaze never leaves your face. Jim watches you take the first bite, his fingers drumming the table until you nod with approval. The pancakes are just sweet enough. The preserves taste like blackberries and something darker. Iron. No, just your imagination. The food is delicious but leaves you oddly drowsy. Oh, it's from how much you ate and the warm meal in your stomach, you know? He smiles, watching you eat and noting how you feel from the look on your face. Actually, it is true. After you eat a big warm meal, like, your body takes time to just digest it. And it works your body out, kind of, and your body does feel tired. Because, like, even when you're not moving around a lot, you're like, your body's still working it out for you. All on the inside, baby. Good food would make you sleepy, huh? His voice is light, but his fingers quickly tap the table twice, like he's counting. Good food? Who said this food was good? I mean, according to the story, your food is delicious. Halfway through, he pushes his mug towards you. Try this. Before you realize it, you take a sip of his spiced tea, and it's just sweet enough. When you hand it back, his thumb brushes the place your lips touched. Both of you finish up quickly, and Jim takes your plates to the sink. As he's washing up, Jim hums. The tune is unfamiliar, oddly rhythmic. You never heard it before. Almost like a lullaby, or a chant. When Jim notices your attention, he stops abruptly and turns away. It's just a song from my childhood. Jim pauses at the sink, looking out the window. The storm still rages, but he has a serene look on his face. Could get used to this. The fireplace crackles as Jim moves to kneel by the hearth, rearranging logs with an unnecessary focus. His sleeves are rolled up slightly as he works. Pale scars peek beneath the fabric. When he notices you watching, he smiles, but his fingers twitch, like he's counting something under his breath. Not much to do indoors, I'm afraid. Never really had guests before. Just me and the quiet. The firelight catches the edges of the wolf carvings on the mantel. I've got books and a puzzle, if you'd like. Oh, wow, a puzzle! I love that. Could make do. Yeah, puzzle sounds nice. Wait, does that say, do you have any novels? I'd rather just talk. Go back to your room. Leave them all alone. We'll do a puzzle. Do a puzzle right now with our boy Jim right now. Jim produces a dusty puzzle box from a cabinet and directs you to the table. The pieces are worn, the image on the box faded, a snow-laden forest. The tree is too familiar, the shadows between them too deep. Hey, aren't you tired of the snow-covered trees? You must really be attracted to the forest and the snow, bro. Found this in the cellar. Might be missing a few pieces. He spreads the pieces across the table and then settles beside you. Close, but not quite touching. The puzzle is old with some edges frayed, others darkened with age or something else. At first it's easy. Border pieces first, then the cabin emerges, crooked chimney, claw marks on the door. As fire crackles, the puzzle takes shape. A cabin, a wolf, a figure standing at the tree line. Jim's fingers move with surprised precision, slotting pieces into place before you even find their match. He doesn't look at the box. He doesn't need to. He's done this puzzle a billion times. Funny how things fit together when you know where they belong. At one point, his knees brushes yours. He doesn't pull away. It's warm, deliberate. The puzzle grows. A wolf at the tree line, golden eyes gleaming, even in the dim light. Then the figure, a silhouette standing just beyond the cabin's reach. Their hand is outstretched, holding Oh, cool. I get to see it. That's nice. That's a nice touch. Nothing. The piece is missing. You look at the table, but there's nothing left. The figure's hand is empty. A void. That's too bad. The figure in the puzzle is holding something. A flower? A knife? But that piece is gone. You ask if he knows what it is while squinting at the missing figure's hand. Look at the faded box. Not sure. Don't remember. His thumb brushes the empty space where the piece should be, before leaning over to grab your hand. His gaze lowers to find yours, full of unspoken meaning. Guess some things stay lost. Oh boy. This is the most romantic yandere I've ever read. I've done this before. Jim's smile falters, as if it wasn't obvious he's done this puzzle a billion times, and then it's highly presses on your wrists, making your pulse jump. Had a lot of time to practice. Nights get long when you're waiting. Jim, we gotta get you some new puzzles, bro. There are other puzzles out there you might like. Jim releases your hand. His fingers uncurl slowly, as if resisting the separation. Jim releases your hand. His fingers uncurl slowly, as if resisting the separation. For a moment, his palm hovers like he might reach back, but then he exhales, flexing his hand as if shaking off a thought. Jim studies the puzzle, lips pressed thin, before pushing back from the table to get the puzzle's box. Maybe that missing piece will turn up later. His gaze lingers on the empty space where the last piece should be. Then, he carefully gathers the incomplete puzzle and puts it back in its box. He stands, stretching with forced casualness. Let's see, anything else? Oh, I get to go on. Do you have any novels? Jim's smile flickers as he goes over to his small bookcase. He runs a finger along the bookshelf, hesitant, aiding over titles like Folk Remedies of the Valley and Surviving the Wilds. Most of these are not exactly light reading. He plucks a battered novel with a pressed flower bookmark. Jim, do you happen to have, Catcher in the Rye? Is that your favorite book, Jim? I'm just curious. I just want to... But this one's... okay, romance? Well, sort of. He hands you the book with the flower to look at it. The flower feels a bit chilly in your hand. Your imagination? The cover is faded, but you catch the title, The Hare in the Hollow. You flip it open to chapter 12, The First Snow. There are handwritten notes crowding the margins. Chapter 12, The First Snow. Vespera had always been told that the hollow was cursed, evil place. She shivered as the memories returned to her like a vision. When they first met, the villagers whispered of it in its hushed tones, their voices tinged with something between reverence and fear. They said the trees there grew crooked from the weight of the secrets they swallowed, and their roots tangled around the bones of things best left unspoken. But when she stumbled upon Bajarn in the deep heart of the hollow, his dark coat dusted with snow, his hands cupped around the wounded hare, she wondered if the woods had been waiting for her after all. Promise? Liars? Don't trust the moon. Jim sees what you're looking at and reaches to take it back, flustered. Maybe not that one. How about you pick something for yourself? You approach the small, sparse bookcase and read the titles as you run your fingers along the spines. Wilderness survival, edible plants, the history of knot tying? Seriously? Your fingers pause on the worn leather spine tucked in between two larger volumes. It doesn't have a title. When you reach for the untitled book, Jim's breath hitches, then he laughs too loud. That's just my weather log. Terrible handwriting here. He snatches a battered poetry collection from the shelf, thumbing to a random page. Ooh, I get to read some poetry? I love poetry. I like this poetry book. Let's see. His voice smooths to a reverent murmur as he reads. The moon's bride forgets their name. Their fingers root it in his ribs. He stops abruptly, snapping the book shut. The fire pops. His smile doesn't reach his eyes. Hey! Tell me more. Excuse me, tell me more. Maybe let's do something else. The poetry book lies forgotten between you and you suddenly realize that the pressed flower bookmark is still in your palm. It feels oddly cool against your skin. Jim catches you looking at the flower and gazes at you expectantly. Keep it? You press the petals into your palm, its coolness seeping into your skin like ink in water. The veins beneath your wrist darken for a fleeting second, or was it a trick of firelight? You gently tuck it into your pocket. Jim's breath stills. He leans forward, voice feather-light but intent. Why did you keep it? His gaze fixes on your pocket where the flower sits. Did it feel like it was yours? I don't know. Jim tilts his head, studying you like a specimen. The silence stretches too long. That's alright. You will. The flower in your pocket feels like it has doubled in weight. You absent-mindedly touch the flower in your pocket, yet a chill lingers on your palm. What now? I'd rather just talk, you know? Jim freezes for a beat, then laughs, a strained, breathy sound. You both go to sit by the fireplace. He sits too close, knees bumping yours. Talk, right, sure, what about? He toys with his sleeve, tugging it down, as he thinks about what to say next. As you ask about the carvings, Jim's shoulder relaxes too much as he lifts the large wolf from the mantel. He runs a thumb along the wolf's spine, where the grain splits like an old wound. Started willing after I left. Home kept my hands busy. Funny thing, the wood carries a lot of memories. He leans in and hands it to you, pressing the carving into your palm. His fingers linger too warm. Tell me something, do you remember? Doesn't matter what, something true. His thumb presses your wrist. For a second, the pulse you feel isn't yours. Okay. I had a nightmare last night. Jim goes very still, the shadows behind him sway. I'm sorry about that. But dreams can just be dreams, not real. Jim's expression softens. His thumb traces your wrist like he's counting your pulse. Sometimes, though, I think dreams are doors. You ought to be careful what you invite in. He seems to catch himself clearing his throat awkwardly. His fingers finally uncurl around your wrist as he got up. Anything else you want to do? I guess I'll go back to my room. I got no other choice. Listen, Jim, I did all the options. You mentioned heading to your room, and Jim still thinking. Jim smiles, satisfied with how you spent your day. He leans back, remembering all the things you've done together with a slow, cat-like satisfaction. Cats? Knew you'd be good at this. Knew it. Guess we've done all I could think of for now. I'll come get you when it's dinner time. Get some rest for now. You head back to your room for now, the door clicking close behind you. The sound is soft, final. You sit on the edge of the bed, the weight of the day pressing onto your shoulders like hands. Think about what you've seen. The wind howls outside as you lie stiffly beneath the quilt, staring at the ceiling. You reflect on what you've seen today, the first day staying at the cabin with Jim. Your palm tingles where the petals touch you, a phantom chill that won't fade. The flower's too cold, too perfect. Jim's voice, low and satisfied, replays in your skull. The flower rests heavy in your pocket, its unnatural chill seeping through the fabric. Perhaps it's just a chilly draft. You could still picture the way the puzzle pieces had fit together under Jim's sure hands. The shadow of the cabin, the lurking wolf with its golden eyes, a figure at the tree line. But the piece it held had been missing. Now in the quiet of your room, the memory nagged at you. He's been a surprisingly attractive host. In his own way, the breakfast was hearty. He remembers the little things, the way you take your hot cocoa. There's something almost comforting in the way he moves, like he's mesmerized the shape of this solitude, and simply let you step inside it. Memorized, I mean. Jim's still careful with his words, and still watches you a little too closely. But there's no denying it, you gotten closer today. The shadows stretch across your room, and you begin to wonder if it's evening time yet. Jim hasn't come to get you, but the hunger in your stomach pulls you out of bed. When you get up, you notice the door is slightly ajar. You could have sworn you had closed it. The storm had trapped you both inside for another day. The wind howls through the cracks in the cabin walls, but Jim seems almost content. He sits at the table, a small knife in hand, and whittles away. Watch quietly. You stay planted where you are, hoping not to disturb him. The sound of scraping continues. Eventually, Jim begins to become aware of your gaze as he finishes his work. The carving of a rabbit. A small, fragile thing, ears folded back, body coiled as if ready to flee. When the carving is finished, Jim hesitates. His thumb brushes over the creature's back, passing over its form. With a twitch of his lips, he seems to decide to pick up his knife again and whittle away quickly. He carves a small hole through its heart, threads it into a leather cord, and ties it around your neck without asking. His fingers linger too long on your pulse, which jumps at his touch. So you remember. His voice is a gentle murmur, something dangerously close to tenderness. Even when I'm not around, I can break it? Oh my gosh! Accept it and wear it. You trace the carving with your fingertips, and you want it around your throat. Your hand slowly curls around the necklace that Jim placed on you with acceptance. The first thing you notice is that the cord around your neck is tight, a collar disguised as jewelry. The thin leather knot it snug around your throat. It's not enough to choke, but enough that you always feel it there. Oh, wow. Jim just asserted dominance. He just... you're mine now. What a alpha move right there. That is an alpha move. That's what all the wolf stuff comes from. Because he is an alpha wolf right there. Or... I think alpha's the most powerful one, right? I'm sure. The wood is smooth, almost too delicate, like it might splinter if gripped too hard. Jim's eyes burn in the dim light at the sight of you, breath shallow. I knew it would suit you. He shifts closer. His knee brushes yours as he reaches out to adjust the carving. I met this guy yesterday. I just want to remind you guys. His touch lingers warm, callous fingers tracing the curve of the carvings back along your skin. You, fits you better than I thought it would. There's a weight to the words, something deeper than just the carving. He starts pacing around the room, looking at the fire, peering at the walls. He's stalling. You can tell by the way his shoulders stay tense, the way his gaze keeps flicking back to you. Finally, he excels, running your hand through his hair. I'll have to make you more things if you like it. What's my favorite animal? Can you make a tiger? That would be cool. When he starts to retreat to his room, his steps are lighter than usual. Hey! I'm hungry. Make me food, bro. I'll see you soon. Night. Hey, I'm hungry. I can't eat this, you know, this thing around my neck. I can't eat it. He strides into his room without another word. With nothing else to do, you also head back to your room. So much for being hungry. The bed creaks as you settle in. The blanket's too stiff, the air too still. Bro's already neglecting his pet, not feeding her. It's me, I guess. Already neglectful. You said you were to call me in for dinner time. You didn't even give me anything to eat. Come on. I know that breakfast was big and all, but I'm hungry, bro. You tried to sleep, but it comes in shallow waves. Each time you start to drift to sleep, the shallows at the edge of the room seems to shift, if just slightly. Jim. A shudder runs through him. When you call out to him for a long moment, he doesn't move. Then slowly he sets the carving knife away and turns to face you. When Jim turns to face you, the moonlight paints his face in blue and shadow, his eyes dark and unreadable. There's something raw in his expression, hungry and desperate. I couldn't sleep either. You stare back at him simply, and he tenses. The air between you is charged, electric. He swallows hard, his gaze flickering to your lips, then away, like he's afraid. I did this step forward slowly again. Jim hesitates, his hand hovering near your face, like he's afraid to touch you. When you lean in, he lets out a shaky breath, his fingers finally brushing your cheek. The kiss is soft, almost tentative, a question, not a demand. His lips are chapped from the cold, but warm, so warm. When he pulls back, his eyes are wide, vulnerable. I didn't. You kiss him again, and this time he whimpers against your mouth, his hands trembling where they cradle your face. Jim avoids your eyes afterwards, his ears red. He touches his lips, like he's trying to memorize the feeling. And suddenly, it's the same, isn't it? Pound on the door. You rattle it harder, throwing your weight against the wood. Nothing. The door doesn't even shake in its frame. It's solid, stubborn, like the trees outside that have spent decades, kicking their roots deep into the earth. I'll go back to bed. You hear the distant axe hitting out wood outside over and over. The carving around your neck tightens and drive you. Something older. Honestly, I don't think I read this. You stand, the cathedral snow-laden trees, their branches clawing at the sky, as deep as oblivion. The air smells of frost and something older, moss, blood, burnt sugar. The carving around your neck tightens and drives you forward. Before you is a path of white flowers, like piles of snowfall. Their silver veins pulse in time with your heartbeat. One brushes your ankle, familiar, possessive. You don't recall their names, yet your tongue forms the shape of it anyway. Moon petals. Is that what they're called? How do you know? There are wolf tracks, deep, deliberate. They lead you forward without a choice. The trees seemingly curving into you, or pulling you in. Something moves in the dark, not a wolf, not a man, a shape with too many joints, its shadows stretching further than the light should allow. And those eyes, they glow impossibly bright, drinking up the shadows. A voice hums, Jim's voice no deeper, it curls through the trees in fragments. What do you have, rabbit? Your palm grows heavy, you unclench your fist to reveal. It's a moon petal, now fully bloomed, its center is perfect, black pupil. Its mouth doesn't move, its words bloom from behind your ribs. The cage is beautiful because it was built just for you. Won't you sing for him? The figure laughs, and the sound is Jim's warped delights. The flower roots into your skin. It doesn't hurt. That's worse. Stay a little longer. I've been starved for you for so long. Yeah, even with the thing, it feels fast, doesn't it? It feels really fast. Oh my gosh. It feels so fast. Alright, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna offer it back to him. I'm just gonna give it back. Return it. You decide to offer it back to him with a shrug. You hold it out to him, and Jim smiles, falters. He doesn't take it, just stares at the petal in your hand, like you've handed him a wounded bird. Oh, I thought you'd... Never mind. Hey, you kind of made me feel bad for taking it, and then me just saying I don't know why I took it. Never mind. There's an awkward beat. Then Jim finally plucks the petal from your hand, tucking it into his pocket. I've saved it for you in case you change your mind. In case you change your mind, bro. What now? Oh man, I'll just talk, whatever. I remember running away once. Jim's grip tightens just for a second before he forces a chuckle. Bet you got far, didn't you? Real far. His thumb traces the veins in your wrists, following their paths like a map. The storm's different out here, though. Roads vanish, trees move, easy to get turned around. He seems to catch himself, clearing his throat awkwardly. Go back to my room. Think about what you've seen. Gently alert him to you. You softly clear your throat and purposely creak the wood underneath you as you approach. Jim looks at you with clear eyes. Mew, I'm almost done. There. It's a carving of a rabbit. Alright. Oh. I don't get the thing where I'll stop him this time. Jim freezes, his fingers tightening around the carving. When he turns back, his gaze is searching, wary, but there's a fragile hope there too, like he's bracing for rejection. Do you want it? Accept it, but don't wear it. You trace the carving with your fingertips, but you don't want to wear it. Jim watches as you turn the wood carving in your hands. His usual guarded expression soften at the edges. It looks better in your hands. Then Jim clears his throat, suddenly awkward, and turns back to the fire. But you catch the faintest curve of his mouth before he hides it. I'm glad you're keeping it. Before he turns in the night, he hesitates, glancing back at you. Well, night. He stands to leave without another word. With nothing else to do, you also head back to your room. Quietly. I couldn't sleep either. Right, you agree and kiss me. A look of frustration flashes across his face. But Jim breaks at your command and closes the distance. In one swift motion, his lips are on yours, his hands gripping your hips hard enough to bruise. The kiss is fierce, all teeth and desperation. He nips at your lower lips, his breath hot against your skin. When you gasp, he groans, pressing closer, like he wants to melt into you. Mine. It's not a request, it's a claim. He doesn't let go, his forehead pressing to yours as he struggles to steady his breathing. You? He struggles to say something but swallows it instead. Jim suddenly pulls away from you, like he's been touched by fire. I have to go. He begins, yeah, and then I go back to bed. In the cracks between trees, you think you see a large wooden carving watching you, waiting. Before you is bare earth. The ground twitches where your shadow falls. You feel something between your teeth, and when you pick it out, a white flower, moist from your inside, silver veins throb mockingly at you. You don't recall their name, yet your tongue forms the shape of it anyway. Moon petals. Is that what they're called? How do you know? Well, no. It doesn't really change much. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna break the thing. I feel bad already. I haven't even done it yet. Nah, keep it. Skip. It feels familiar. Jim's pupils dilate. He exhales from his nose, slowly, like he's savoring the moment. I knew it. He laughs and is raw, relieved. Then he reaches out, almost touching the pedal in your pocket, and pulls back. Things find their way when they're needed, even here. You absentmindedly touch the fingers in your the flower in your pocket, I mean. Yet a chill lingers on in your palm. I'll just talk a bit. I don't remember much. Jim's smile tightens, his thumb presses harder on your pulse point, searching. That's alright. I'm sure you'll remember something eventually. He looks distant into the fire, his eyes unfocused as his grip on you flexes. Memories are like wood grain, cut deep, enough they bleed. He seems to catch himself clearing his throat awkwardly. His fingers finally uncurl around your wrist as he got up. Anything else you want to do? I'll go back to my room. Try to nap. Close your eyes and try to rest, tossing fitfully. Something unsettled you as you tried to sleep, if at all. It was hard to tell the time with the snowstorm roaring. I'll watch quietly. I'm gonna reject it. Oh man, I'm gonna reject it. You consider it for a moment, but ultimately don't want it. You hand the carving back to him. His fingers twitch once, curling into palms like he's been burned. The air between you thickens, the firelight dimming as if the room recoils. I see. A muscle jumps in his jaw. He doesn't raise his voice. Doesn't have to. The quiet is worse. Guess I misread things. He slips the carving into his pocket. Oh man, I feel bad now for some reason. I don't know why. Into his pocket with a quiet finality. Maybe you'll want it later. He gets up and hurriedly leaves. The door shuts behind him with a quiet click. With nothing else to do, you also head back to your room. The bed creaks as you settle in, the blanket too stiff, the air too still. I'll just go back. He looks like he might want to be alone. I don't want to face him. I go back to bed. It doesn't even change anything! Oh my gosh, I gotta break it. I'm gonna break it. I don't feel like a... Break it. The snap of wood is louder than you expect. The sound is too loud in the quiet cabin, like a bone breaking. Jim carefully gathers the shattered remains of the carving. I feel so bad! I feel so bad! His eyes grow dark and he looks at you with outright disdain. But he leaves the room wordlessly. But he has nothing to say to you. With nothing else to do, you also head back to your room. Oh my god. The bread creaks. Oh. No! Oh my gosh, why? Why do I do this stuff? It's just a thing. You agree and head back to your room. Jim exhales, and you aren't sure if it's disappointment or relief. To your confusion, Jim puts on his jacket and hat by the door. And then he goes, and I go back to bed. Then the same thing happens. Okay, wait. So I'm gonna load an old load. I hated that I broke his thing. I hated it, and I don't know why. Maybe it's just because, like, I'm growing attached to this character. I don't know. He's just very... This whole story is very well written. And there's something about it feels very cozy. Like, it's warm and inviting. But I'm waiting for the dark twist. I'm waiting for when things are gonna, like, go, you know, wrong. I'm waiting for it, you know? Mixed signals time. Just to get a better look at you. You just state it matter-of-factly. It's just what you were doing, after all. Ah, I see. He continues to look back at you for a moment longer. Well, do you like what you see, huh? You're a bold one, aren't you? Just staring like that. Then Jim looks into his empty mug, now cold. Do you like bold people? Good night, Jim. You say your goodnights and you go to your respective rooms. Embarrassed. You're still feeling so embarrassed about the events of today. Yet you miss your cabin, and you end up in a stranger's place. And then Jim. You pull the covers towards your burning face. It's just too embarrassing! As you think about how you feel, you drift off to sleep, wondering what the rest of the week has in store for you. Push it away. You push the mug back, and it scrapes across the table. Jim goes very still. Jim's expression flickers, something between hurt and frustration. You don't want it? It's not a question, it's a challenge. You refuse. You shake your head. A muscle jumps in his jaw. The silence in the room grows teeth. Your mug stays untouched, and Jim doesn't drink. The air in the cabin thickens. The quiet, now a living thing between you, heavy, suffocating. Steam from your mug curls between you like a disorientating fog. The mug sits untouched between you. Jim's fingers flexed against his mug. Jim's next words are a whisper. You think it's poison or something? There's no anger in his voice, just something hollow. If he was joking, it was hard to tell. No, that's not. He cuts you off with a shake of his head. His expression is unreadable. Don't. The word is final. A stiff silence that covers you both. Jim stands up silently, his gaze lowering directly towards yours, and grabs your mug. He drains your mug himself in one long swallow, a challenge. But the way he watches you now, like he's memorizing the shape of you. Jim's face shudders. He sets his cold mug down with a deliberate care, then retreats to his room without a word. Reads something else. Your fingers hover the worn leather journal for only a second before you push it back into place. Something about the crescent moon embossing you makes your skin prickle. Instead, you pull out a thick novel titled Surviving the Wilds. His spine cracked from frequent reading. It promises to be a tale of one man's heroic journey in the wilderness. As you settle into the chair, you catch a faint scent, like snow, and something metallic like fire pops. You ignore it. You notice a dog-eared page and flip to it curiously. It's titled Winter Isolation, and the margins are filled with notes. Jim's handwriting, perhaps? Winter Isolation. To Alexander, one of the most challenging parts of winter were those long, lonely nights, when only the howl of the wind and the crackle of the fire keep him company. The days and nights blurred together in an unbroken stretch of twilight, the sun a distant memory smothered under layers of snow and pine boughs. He would sit for hours staring into the fire until his vision swam with after images of the flame, imagining the press of summer heat against his skin, the way sweat would bead at his temples, the smell of wildflowers crushed underfoot, the laughter of friends who now felt like ghosts. Start hearing their voice. Shadows in the tree lines. Wolver? If you are reading this, you waited too long. The trees lie. A sound behind you, the creak of a floorboard. Jim stands in the doorway. His posture is relaxed, but his eyes track your every move until they land on the book in your hand. Something in his expression softens. Good choice. He pushes off the doorframe and steps closer. His fingers brush yours as he takes the novel from you, not roughly, but with a quiet certainty. He slides it back onto the shelf. But you should read this instead. Then he reaches over to you and you flinch. His gaze holds yours as he slowly pulls out a book from the shelf next to you and hands it to you firmly. The cover reads Wilderness First Aid Manual. No? Is it the same? I don't want to read this. Jim stills. His fingers flex, then curl into fist. Well, you should. Because out here, not knowing can kill you. And I'd hate for that to happen. His words are spoken like a promise, a threat. He gives you a final withering look before leaving again. Even though Jim has retracted Trius to her room, you still somehow feel his eyes on you. I'll cook some food. Where's all the food? Jim sighs, pushing off the door frame to rummage under the sink. He crouches, muscles flexing under his shirt, as he drags out a dented padlock cooler. Fridge compressor's acting up. Had to move 'em owes everything to the cellar last night. Ah, that's what happened to all the snacks! There's some more stuff in the cooler, but it's for emergencies. You notice some bread is visible in the high cabinet, but there's no step stool. Jim follows your gaze upwards. Jim waits. Climb for it. You strain for the bread, legs shaking to balance on the countertop. Jim lets you tether before catching your waist. Stubborn, aren't you? He gives you a frustrated look before pushing you aside. Jim reaches up there and grabs each of you a single slice. Refuse. I can cook myself. Jim's jaw tightens. He doesn't step back, forcing you to brush past him. His arm twitches like he might block you, but he stops just short. Fine. The way he says it makes your skin prickle. Not quite mocking, but quite concerned, just waiting. The space feels alien. Pans just out of reach, utensils in odd drawers. The stove clicks stubbornly, but doesn't ignite. You were able to get it to work yesterday. Flint's temperamental. Need the right touch. Jim's presence looms nearby the whole time, tracking all of your clumsy movements. Eventually, he reaches around on you to fix the stove. His chest presses against your back just a second too long. Should have let me do it. Now we're both hungry. You ignore the shiver that runs through you and continues trying to cook without his help. Yeah, my cooking sucks. Your meal is meager, edible, but barely. Jim doesn't comment. He just takes a simple slice of toast with some butter. Next time, let me help. Jim excels, disappointed, and he heads back to his room. You finish your meal and your hunger is satiated enough for now. Well, now, I'm gonna push past him. Try to push past him. Jim doesn't move. His hand snaps out to grip your wrist. Not enough to hurt, just enough to stop you. Where exactly are you going to? His thumb brushes your pulse point. Road's buried, and the wolves, they're hungry this time of year. The silence stretches too long. His gaze darkens, the polite mask slipping just enough for you to see the ice beneath. You scoff as you peer out of your cage. You consider writing a plea, a curse, a name, but who would see it? The trees? The wolves? A single finger scrapes across the frost, etching half a word before letters sweat and blur almost immediately, as if the house itself rejects your defiance. Jim's presence was an inescapable shadow over you. Think about what you've seen. What are you making? He sets it on the table facing away from you. To look the finished carving, a silent offering, unacknowledged. It is not for you. Not yet. Maybe never. Oh. It's not for me anymore. Haha. I'll take it. Jim looks surprised, but doesn't stop you. Oh. I'll break it. The sound of it is too loud. The quiet cabin, like a bone breaking. Jim carefully gathers the shattered remains of the carving. His eyes grow dark, and he looks at you with outright disdain. He has nothing to say to you. Jim, I heard you were awake. Blame it all on him. Blame it all on Jim. Okay. Kiss me, bro. Just do it. He starts leaning towards you, but turns his head at the last second, his jaw clenching. Don't. You don't know if he's talking to you or himself, but his hands are fisted in your shirt, pulling you closer even as he pushes you away. Oh, man. The mixed signals are all there, bro. Kiss him. When you try again, he lets you, but the kiss is brief, bitter. He breaks it with a sharp inhale. You'll regret this. Jim suddenly pulls away from you, like he's been touched by fire. I'll regret it? I regret nothing, Jim. You whirl to There's wolf traps, deep and deliberate. You whirl to flee in the other direction, but the woods stretch into the horizon. Something moves in the dark, not a wolf, not a man. Okay, I try to flee this time. Okay, let him go. You reluctantly step back and try to calm yourself from what almost happened. He slowly exhales, and you aren't sure if it's disappointment or relief. Your palm grows heavy, you unclench your fist to reveal a bone-handed knife, its edge serrated with thorns. Its mouth doesn't move, the words form inside your skull. Pathetic. Do you even know what to do with that? That shivering blade won't save you, little rabbit. The wind lashes your face full of teeth. Stay a little longer. I've been starved for you for so long. I'm definitely a worthy sacrifice. He's gonna kill me in this run. Oh man. Ignore it. Jim takes the carving and pockets it. Jim wordlessly leaves the room to retire for the night, not even bothering to say goodnight. I head to my room, approach him quietly. I heard you were awake. Step forward slowly. Jim hesitates, his hand hovering near your face like he's afraid to touch you. When you lean in, he lets out a snarky, shaky breath, his fingers finally brushing your cheek. The kiss is soft, almost tentative, a question, not a demand. His lips are chapped from the cold, but warm, so warm. He pulls back, his eyes are wide and vulnerable. I didn't... You kiss him again, and this time he whimpers with your mouth, his hands trembling. Okay. Man. Well, I guess, you know, doing that kind of gives it. I'll take it. Accept and wear it, even though it doesn't belong to me. You trace the carving with your fingertips, and you want it around your throat. Jim seems to read your desire and tentatively takes the carving in his hand. With a twitch of his lip, he picks up his knife again and whittles away quickly. He carves a small hole through its heart and threads in a leather cord. His hand is back to you with an expectant look. I guess I'll, put it on myself. I can oh. You awkwardly put the necklace onto yourself as Jim watches attentively. The first thing you notice is that the cord around your neck is tight, a collar disguised as jewelry. Turn away. Jim turns away and his jaw clenches. He slowly exhales, and you aren't sure if that's disappointment or relief, huh? Okay. Now we're gonna go back. Can you put it on me? Jim stiffens for a heartbeat, then hurriedly obliges you. The first thing you notice is that the cord around your neck is tight, a collar, yes, I guess? Step forward slowly. Oh wait, I'm gonna do kiss me this time. Kiss me. A look of frustration flashes across his face. But Jim breaks at your command and closes the distance. In one swift motion, his lips are on yours, his hands gripping your hips hard, enough to bruise. The kiss is fierce, all teeth and desperation. It's the same. Follow him. I can't. Give up. Go back to bed. Goodbye. So I think I did all the things. Not all of them, obviously. If you guys want to play this game, which I highly recommend, there's probably a lot more choices in there that I did not get to. I did not expect this to take this so long, because there are so many choices to choose from. And there's so many I probably miss, too. This is just getting to be a bit long for me. I do love reading it, though. I do. And I hate to admit it, because I know this guy is a yandere stalking type person, and typically I'm just like I'm attracted to the writing style. I'm really into that. It's very well written, and I'm glad that I was able to get to it today. I'm very impressed by it, actually. I can't wait to read more. I'm hoping that he'll do the other he'll write the other days, and it'll be up soon and stuff. This is very interesting to me. That was Chilling Devotion, a wonderfully crafted tale, and I am so excited to read more and see, like, because it's like I don't know, it's like a slow build-up. It's like a slow build-up. Nothing exceedingly horrible has happened yet, but you know you're trapped there. You know you're trapped there, and you don't know what's gonna happen next. And you feel comfortable right now, but you don't know what's going to change. How his mental state's gonna change. The more he opens up to you, what is he gonna reveal? How is he gonna treat you? And even if you treat him kindly, he might treat you he might get bored. You never know. You never know what's gonna happen with this. Even though it's so warm and inviting now, it could change drastically later. And I bet there's gonna be a lot of choices in the next parts as well. So I'm really excited to play that. That was Chilling Devotion. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, if you made it this far. And I will see you in the next video. And goodbye.